In a world where entertainment is constantly at our fingertips, it's easy to get lost in a cycle of mindless consumption. But have we ever stopped to think about the long-term consequences of this addiction? In this video, we'll explore how our obsession with entertainment is not just affecting our ability to think critically, but also contributing to a broader intellectual and cultural decline. From the erosion of deep thought to the weakening of social bonds, the true cost of our entertainment-driven society may be more damaging than we realize. The shift from active engagement with ideas to passive consumption of content has been one of the most profound changes in how society interacts with knowledge. In the past, people sought knowledge through books, lectures, or even deep personal reflection. Engaging with complex texts or having long conversations about philosophy, politics, and art required effort and time. People were compelled to think critically, as the ideas they encountered weren't always neatly packaged or presented in a way that demanded no further exploration. This intellectual engagement was the cornerstone of a society that valued personal development and cultivated a strong sense of individuality. But today, things are different. The advent of entertainment in its modern form, through television, social media, streaming services, and instant messaging, has created an environment of constant distraction. The information we consume now is bite-sized, quick, and designed to entertain rather than challenge us. Platforms like YouTube and TikTok deliver short, highly edited content that demands little more than a passive observation. The result is a shift in the way we interact with the world. We are less likely to seek out long-form, thoughtful content, and more likely to click on the first thing that catches our attention. It's easier than ever to passively consume entertainment without engaging with it on a deeper level. When entertainment is designed to stimulate our emotions rather than our intellect, we begin to lose the ability to focus on more demanding cognitive tasks. This passivity isn't just a minor inconvenience. It actively undermines the development of critical thinking. We no longer spend hours poring over a difficult book or discussing a thought-provoking article. Instead, we scroll through endless feeds, consuming what is easy and immediately gratifying. This trend has given rise to a generation that often lacks the patience and discipline needed to engage deeply with complex ideas. Even our conversations have become surface level, filled with memes and viral content rather than thought-provoking debates. This shift is reshaping how we understand the world and, more alarmingly, how we view ourselves. As we become more passive in our consumption of ideas, we lose the very tools necessary for intellectual growth. We are now living in an age where attention spans are shorter than ever. This isn't just a result of modern distractions. It's also a symptom of a deeper issue that is reshaping our relationship with information. The rapid pace of digital media, coupled with the constant barrage of notifications and content, has made it incredibly difficult to focus on any single task for an extended period. Studies show that the average attention span has decreased dramatically in the last few decades, with people now struggling to concentrate for more than a few minutes at a time. This decrease in focus is directly tied to the way we consume entertainment. With platforms like Instagram and Twitter offering instant feedback and gratification, we become conditioned to jump from one piece of content to the next, unable to hold our attention on anything that requires sustained effort. This trend isn't just limited to social media. It affects every form of entertainment. Netflix, for example, has a skip intro button to help viewers avoid the opening sequence of a show, reinforcing the idea that time spent waiting is wasted time. The concept of sitting through an entire episode, absorbing the full content, and reflecting on it is increasingly foreign to us. Entertainment has become a fragmented, piecemeal experience that caters to our short attention spans. Even when we do sit down with a book or article, our minds often wander after just a few pages, seeking the instant gratification of something more exciting or visually stimulating. This decline in attention span has profound consequences. It's not just a matter of being unable to enjoy a lengthy book or appreciate a slow-paced film. It affects our ability to engage with difficult ideas. Complex topics such as philosophy, science, or history require focused, sustained attention. These subjects demand that we think deeply, connect dots, and engage in prolonged reflection. In contrast, the entertainment we consume today encourages the opposite: surface-level engagement that is designed to be consumed quickly and discarded just as fast. As a result, the intellectual discipline needed to engage with deeper, more meaningful content is increasingly rare, leading to a society where the pursuit of knowledge becomes a low priority. The decline of attention spans isn't just a personal issue, it's a cultural one, as the ability to critically analyze complex issues is steadily eroding. The effects of this cultural shift are profound. Intellectual and cultural decline is not just about a decrease in the quantity of knowledge, but also a decline in the quality of thought. As we trade deep engagement with fleeting entertainment, we lose the capacity to ask the big questions about life, society, and the human experience. What's more, the very foundation of a healthy society, critical thinking and self-reflection, is weakened, leaving behind a population that is more easily manipulated by superficial ideologies, trends, and narratives. The cultural decay we are witnessing isn't a consequence of ignorance. It is a result of a generation that has stopped questioning, thinking, and reflecting, opting instead for the easy escape of entertainment. In this modern landscape, the pursuit of deep thought has become a rarity. We are so inundated with content that demands little cognitive effort that we have lost the will to engage with anything more demanding. Even when we encounter a challenging idea or topic, we often lack the focus to dive into it and truly understand its implications. This is not just a personal problem, it's a societal issue, as intellectual laziness becomes the norm. Without a collective commitment to intellectual growth, we risk becoming a culture that values shallow pleasures over deep understanding, and in doing so, we undermine our own capacity to grow. As the world moves at an ever-accelerating pace, we find ourselves caught in a cycle where deep thought and critical reflection are pushed to the margins. In this landscape, the challenge becomes how to reclaim the ability to think deeply, to engage with difficult ideas, and to prioritize intellectual development over fleeting entertainment. The consequences of ignoring this challenge are clear. A future where culture and intellect are defined not by substance, but by surface-level distractions. We live in an era dominated by instant gratification. Every time we pick up our phones, check our emails, or scroll through social media, we're rewarded with immediate feedback. Whether it's a like on a post or a new notification, we are constantly given small bursts of pleasure that satisfy our immediate desires. This has fostered an environment where patience and long-term thinking are becoming increasingly scarce. In a world where we can access entertainment with the tap of a finger, the need for delayed gratification seems almost foreign. We want what we want, and we want it now. This obsession with instant gratification has profound implications for how we engage with the world. The satisfaction of binge-watching a series, for example, provides a sense of accomplishment and pleasure, but it's a fleeting one. After the series ends, there's little lasting impact and the cycle begins again. The problem is that this addiction to immediate pleasure isn't just limited to entertainment. It has permeated every aspect of our lives. From our work habits to our social interactions, we're conditioned to seek instant rewards rather than putting in the effort required for long-term fulfillment. At the heart of this issue is a cultural shift that has redefined what success and happiness mean. In the past, success was often the result of years of hard work, discipline, and patience. Today, however, it's increasingly defined by quick wins, superficial achievements, and the ability to enjoy immediate pleasures. This is reflected not only in our personal lives, but also in the way we approach intellectual pursuits. Instead of dedicating time to mastering a subject or honing a skill, we look for shortcuts, hacks, and quick fixes. This mentality is at odds with the intellectual and cultural depth that societies once prided themselves on. This addiction to instant gratification is not only a personal issue, it's a societal one. As more and more people prioritize short-term pleasure over long-term goals, we risk losing the very virtues that once helped drive intellectual and cultural progress. Without the willingness to delay gratification and put in the effort required for deeper understanding, we will find ourselves increasingly disconnected from the richness of intellectual and cultural life. In a world where everything is available on demand, the ability to patiently work toward meaningful goals is a rare and valuable skill, one that we must rediscover if we are to reverse the decline in intellectual and cultural vitality. Entertainment has always played a central role in human culture. Throughout history, storytelling, theater, music, and art have been ways for societies to pass down knowledge, share experiences, and explore the depths of human existence. Great works of literature, philosophical debates, and artistic masterpieces were created not just for amusement, but to challenge, inspire, and provoke thought. The cultural achievements of civilizations were defined by their intellectual and artistic contributions, which served to elevate the human spirit and push the boundaries of understanding. Entertainment, in its highest form, was a means of enlightenment. However, in the modern era, entertainment has undergone a transformation. Instead of being a tool for reflection and intellectual stimulation, it has increasingly become a form of escapism designed to distract rather than enlighten. The shift from meaningful engagement with culture to passive consumption has resulted in a landscape where entertainment no longer serves as a medium for depth and exploration, but instead prioritizes instant gratification and superficial pleasure. The consequences of this shift are far-reaching, affecting not just individual thought, but the very fabric of cultural and intellectual life. One of the most significant ways entertainment contributes to cultural decay is through its oversaturation of triviality. In an era of endless content, much of what is produced is designed to appeal to the lowest common denominator. Reality television, formulaic Hollywood blockbusters, and viral social media trends thrive not because they challenge audiences, but because they require no intellectual effort. The focus is no longer on depth, nuance, or meaning, but on entertainment that is easy to consume and quickly forgotten. This trend is reinforced by algorithms that prioritize engagement metrics over substance, ensuring that the most sensational, emotionally charged, and shallow content is what dominates public discourse. This shift in entertainment culture has profound consequences for society's collective intelligence. When entertainment is driven primarily by financial incentives rather than a desire to inform or inspire, content is crafted to maximize appeal rather than intellectual stimulation. This results in a cultural landscape where the most widely consumed forms of entertainment contribute little to meaningful discussion or thought. The saturation of low-effort, disposable content has led to a decline in the appreciation for literature, philosophy, and the arts, as fewer people are willing to invest the time and effort required to engage with challenging material. One of the most alarming consequences of this shift is the erosion of shared cultural narratives. In the past, literature, theater, and philosophy provided societies with common points of reference, works that shaped collective identity and values. These shared cultural touchstones encourage deep discussions, moral debates, and intellectual growth. Today, however, entertainment is fragmented, tailored to individual preferences and immediate emotional responses, rather than serving as a foundation for meaningful dialogue. The result is a society in which fewer and fewer people engage with the great works of the past, leading to a loss of historical and intellectual continuity. This fragmentation has also led to a weakening of community and social bonds. Entertainment, which once served as a collective experience that brought people together, whether through shared storytelling, public debates, or the communal appreciation of art, has now become a highly individualized activity. Streaming services, social media, and video games offer entertainment that is consumed in isolation, leading to a decline in genuine social interactions. As people spend more time immersed in their personalized entertainment bubbles, they become increasingly disconnected from broader cultural and intellectual conversations. This isolation is further exacerbated by the way modern entertainment exploits psychological vulnerabilities. The endless stream of content available at the push of a button is designed to keep users engaged for as long as possible. The addictive nature of entertainment, whether through binge-watching TV shows, endlessly scrolling through social media, or playing video games for hours on end, has led to a cultural shift where passive consumption replaces active participation in intellectual and creative pursuits. The psychological conditioning of constant entertainment diminishes the motivation to seek out more meaningful, challenging experiences, reinforcing a cycle of intellectual passivity. Perhaps the most insidious effect of modern entertainment culture is its ability to shape values and beliefs without audiences even realizing it. The narratives and themes embedded in entertainment influence how people perceive reality, often in ways that promote passivity and conformity, rather than critical thinking and individuality. Movies, television shows, and social media trends increasingly prioritize emotional appeal over rational discourse, shaping public opinion through entertainment rather than informed discussion. This shift away from intellectual rigor to emotional manipulation has contributed to a culture where deep analysis and skepticism are replaced by immediate emotional reactions. This phenomenon is particularly evident in the way entertainment blurs the lines between reality and fiction. The rise of social media influencers, celebrity culture, and reality television has created a world in which manufactured personas and scripted narratives are consumed as if they are real. This not only distorts people's perceptions of reality, but also fosters unrealistic expectations about life, relationships, and success. Instead of engaging with the complexities of real human experiences, people are drawn to carefully curated, often deceptive portrayals of reality that offer easy answers and false ideals. At the heart of this cultural decay is the replacement of substance with spectacle. In a media landscape where attention is the most valuable currency, entertainment is increasingly designed to be sensational rather than substantive. News is packaged as entertainment, with headlines crafted to provoke outrage rather than inform. Political discourse is reduced to sound bites and viral moments rather than thoughtful debate. Artistic expression is filtered through the lens of marketability, favoring mass appeal over authenticity. As entertainment becomes the dominant force in shaping culture, the emphasis on spectacle over depth has resulted in a society that prioritizes amusement over meaning. The consequences of this transformation extend beyond individual intellectual decline. They affect the collective progress of society. When entertainment becomes the primary lens through which people view the world, it diminishes the ability to engage with serious issues in a meaningful way. Complex social, political, and philosophical debates require patience, nuance, and critical thinking, but a culture accustomed to instant entertainment has little tolerance for these qualities. The result is a public that is more easily swayed by emotional appeals, less likely to question prevailing narratives, and increasingly disengaged from the deeper intellectual traditions that once formed the backbone of cultural progress. In the face of this growing intellectual and cultural decay, the question becomes, how can we reclaim entertainment as a tool for enrichment rather than escapism? The answer lies in actively curating the content we consume, making conscious choices to seek out material that challenges rather than pacifies. Instead of passively accepting whatever entertainment is most readily available, individuals must take responsibility for engaging with works that demand thought, reflection, and critical analysis. Whether through reading great literature, exploring philosophical ideas, or engaging with meaningful art, the path to reversing cultural decline begins with intentional consumption. Furthermore, there must be a renewed appreciation for the communal aspects of intellectual and cultural engagement. Instead of experiencing entertainment in isolation, society must revive the practice of discussing, debating, and analyzing the ideas that shape culture. Book clubs, public lectures, and meaningful discussions must replace the passive consumption of entertainment that offers no lasting value. Only by restoring the emphasis on deep intellectual engagement can society break free from the cycle of cultural stagnation. Ultimately, the decline of intellectual and cultural depth is not inevitable. It is a result of choices. The entertainment industry will continue to prioritize spectacle over substance for as long as audiences demand it. The question we must ask ourselves is whether we are willing to resist the pull of mindless entertainment and instead embrace the challenge of engaging with ideas that demand effort and contemplation. If we fail to do so, the consequences will not just be the loss of individual intellect, but the erosion of a society that once valued the pursuit of wisdom and understanding. In today's world, where everything is available at the touch of a button, the concept of patience seems almost obsolete. The immediate gratification that technology offers, whether it's through social media, streaming platforms, or online shopping, has fundamentally altered the way we experience life. We've become accustomed to the quick reward, the fast fix, and the instant hit of pleasure that comes with every swipe and click. This constant cycle of instant gratification is not just a passing trend. It is reshaping the very fabric of society, eroding our ability to engage with long-term goals and pursue meaningful, delayed rewards. The most obvious manifestation of this cultural shift is in the way we consume entertainment. Binge-watching television shows, endlessly scrolling through social media feeds, and playing video games for hours on end have become the norm. In each of these activities, there is little to no waiting period. Every episode is available to watch immediately. Every post is accessible within seconds, and every game provides instant feedback. The rush of dopamine that accompanies these experiences is addictive, as it gives us an immediate sense of pleasure, excitement, or amusement. However, the fleeting nature of these rewards means that we are constantly in search of the next hit, unable to sit with our thoughts or enjoy prolonged engagement with anything that requires patience. The addictive nature of instant gratification doesn't just apply to entertainment. It has permeated every aspect of our lives. The internet has created an environment where information is instantly available, allowing us to avoid the discomfort of uncertainty or waiting. Need to know something? Google it. Want to communicate with someone? Send a text and you get an immediate reply. Even in our work environments, there is a pressure to respond quickly and perform tasks at lightning speed. Our world moves at such a fast pace that taking time to reflect or engage in tasks that require sustained effort feels increasingly uncomfortable. The culture of immediacy has made us impatient, unable to focus on anything that demands more time or mental effort. This addiction to instant gratification is undermining our ability to achieve long-term goals and cultivate meaningful achievements. Personal development, mastery of a skill, or the completion of a long-term project all require sustained effort, focus, and discipline, qualities that are becoming rarer in a society that prioritizes speed and immediacy. In the past, people understood that success often came with years of hard work and delayed rewards. The journey toward achieving something of value was considered as important as the result itself. Today, however, many people expect instant results and are quick to abandon their pursuits when they don't see immediate progress. This shift is damaging not only to individual success, but to society as a whole, as it fosters a culture of impatience and superficiality rather than one of depth and persistence. This obsession with instant gratification also has a detrimental effect on mental health. The constant need for immediate rewards is linked to a variety of psychological issues, including anxiety, depression, and stress. In a world where everything can be accessed at the press of a button, it becomes harder to cope with the natural frustrations of life, delays, setbacks, or moments of discomfort. When people are conditioned to expect quick satisfaction, the inevitable wait for things that require effort can trigger feelings of dissatisfaction and unease. The ability to tolerate delayed gratification, once considered an essential skill for emotional resilience, is being replaced by a sense of entitlement and frustration when things don't go as planned. This sense of impatience can create a vicious cycle where individuals feel unable to cope with life's challenges, leading to further dissatisfaction and emotional distress. Another key consequence of the addiction to instant gratification is the erosion of self-discipline. In a society that rewards quick, easy results, the ability to delay gratification and work toward long-term goals becomes increasingly rare. True self-discipline requires the ability to resist temptation, delay rewards, and stay committed to a task despite the lack of immediate payoffs. However, when every desire can be satisfied instantaneously, the need for self-control diminishes. This lack of discipline is particularly evident in the way people approach their health, finances, and personal development. With fast food readily available, shopping just a click away, and entertainment that demands no effort, people are less likely to make choices that benefit their future well-being. Instead, they seek the quick fix, whether it's in the form of unhealthy food, impulsive spending, or mindless entertainment. This cultural shift toward immediate pleasure also undermines our capacity for deep, meaningful work that requires focus, creativity, and sustained effort. Whether in the fields of art, science, writing, or business, is increasingly undervalued in a world that celebrates speed and instant results. The constant bombardment of quick, easy entertainment has made it difficult for many to concentrate on tasks that require patience and effort. The reward for completing a long-term project or creating something of value is no longer enough to sustain people's attention. Instead, they seek the quick high of distraction, unable to focus on the kind of work that leads to deep satisfaction and true accomplishment. The result is a culture where people struggle to find fulfillment in their work because they are constantly distracted by the lure of immediate pleasure. The lack of delayed gratification is also influencing how we approach relationships. In an age of dating apps and social media, romantic connections are often formed based on immediate attraction or instant gratification. Relationships are no longer built on slow, steady progress. Instead, they are fast-tracked and often lack the depth and emotional investment that comes from spending time getting to know someone. The rise of hookup culture and the constant pursuit of instant pleasure in relationships has created a generation that struggles to build lasting, meaningful connections. True intimacy requires patience, trust, and the willingness to invest time and energy into another person. However, when instant gratification is the norm, people often avoid the discomfort that comes with building deep emotional connections, opting instead for transient, superficial encounters. On a larger scale, the addiction to instant gratification has far-reaching consequences for society as a whole. A culture that values speed over substance, convenience over effort, and pleasure over discipline is unlikely to produce the kind of innovation, intellectual engagement, and cultural richness that are necessary for progress. Societies that prioritize short-term satisfaction over long-term growth are at risk of stagnating as individuals become more focused on immediate rewards than on contributing to the collective good. The shift from a culture of patience and perseverance to one of instant gratification has made it increasingly difficult to address the complex problems that require thoughtful, long-term solutions, such as climate change, poverty, and social inequality. To combat the effects of instant gratification, we must reclaim the value of patience and long-term thinking. This requires a cultural shift that places a premium on effort, perseverance, and delayed rewards. Education systems, workplaces, and communities must encourage individuals to cultivate the virtues of self-discipline and patience, emphasizing the importance of sustained effort in achieving meaningful goals. Additionally, individuals must take personal responsibility for their choices, making deliberate efforts to avoid distractions and focus on the things that matter most. By practicing delayed gratification in our daily lives, we can begin to restore balance and meaning to a world that has become obsessed with speed and instant pleasure. The road to restoring delayed gratification in society will not be easy, but it is essential if we are to reverse the damaging effects of the instant gratification culture. Only by learning to value patience and long-term growth can we hope to build a more resilient, focused, and intellectually engaged society. The impact of entertainment, particularly in its modern form, extends beyond individual intellect and society's capacity for deep engagement. It has broader consequences for the collective moral and intellectual fabric of humanity. One of the most significant, often overlooked effects is the gradual erosion of critical thinking. The constant bombardment of stimuli from entertainment sources, whether through the infinite content available on streaming platforms, social media, or even the infotainment model of modern journalism, actively encourages passivity. This shift has led to the rise of a culture that seeks to be entertained, not enlightened, and often encourages a superficial engagement with ideas rather than a thoughtful, critical examination of them. The reliance on entertainment as a primary means of consuming information and engaging with the world has led to the decline of intellectual rigor, replaced by shallow understandings of complex issues. In the past, great works of literature, art, and philosophy served as a platform for engaging with and confronting difficult ideas. Artists, writers, and thinkers often sought to challenge the status quo, forcing their audience to think deeply and question their assumptions. People read books that stretched their imaginations, watched films that prompted reflection, or attended lectures that ignited intellectual discussions. The result was a society in which individuals were trained to think critically, analyze complex topics, and engage with ideas in ways that transcended entertainment. These conversations often extended beyond the confines of academia or formal settings, weaving their way into everyday life and serving as the foundation for a society in which intellectualism and curiosity were not just celebrated, but embedded into the fabric of the culture. However, in the modern era, this engagement has increasingly been replaced by passivity. The entertainment industry has shifted from creating content that challenges viewers to content that caters to their existing beliefs, preferences, and desires. Much of what is produced today focuses on providing entertainment rather than stimulating thought. television shows, films, and online videos often deliver simple, easily digestible narratives that avoid complexity, eschewing nuance in favor of entertainment that requires little from its audience. Entertainment is now largely tailored to be as emotionally engaging as possible without requiring any form of reflection. The irony is that while entertainment has become more easily accessible, it has simultaneously become less intellectually stimulating. The decline of critical thinking is not simply a side effect of the shift in entertainment, it is actively cultivated by it. Platforms like social media, where users are constantly bombarded with emotionally charged content and headlines designed to elicit an immediate reaction, contribute significantly to the weakening of intellectual rigor. The algorithms behind these platforms are designed to prioritize sensationalism and emotional appeal over substance. Information is often reduced to bite-sized sound bites or viral moments that spread rapidly across the internet. Complex issues are often distilled into simplistic, polarizing narratives, leaving little room for nuance or thoughtful discourse. The result is a society that increasingly struggles with cognitive dissonance, where people cling to their opinions and beliefs without engaging in genuine reflection or reconsideration of their perspectives. This erosion of critical thinking is particularly concerning in the realm of public discourse and decision-making. When people are conditioned to react emotionally rather than think critically, they are more easily manipulated by rhetoric and populist arguments. Political campaigns, news outlets, and influencers are increasingly relying on tactics that provoke emotional responses: fear, outrage, and joy, rather than presenting well-reasoned arguments based on evidence. Instead of fostering informed discussions, the entertainment-driven media landscape encourages divisiveness and extremism. Complex political or social issues are reduced to oversimplified narratives that pit good against evil or us against them, leaving no room for nuanced understanding or compromise. The decline of critical thinking also has a direct impact on personal decision-making and problem-solving abilities. When people consume entertainment that simplifies reality to a great extent, they begin to view the world through the same lens of oversimplified narratives. This leads to a lack of preparedness when facing real-world challenges that require complex solutions. The world, by its very nature, is multifaceted and requires individuals to engage with problems from multiple perspectives. Whether navigating personal relationships, making ethical decisions, or addressing societal problems, critical thinking is essential for arriving at thoughtful solutions. Entertainment that does not encourage engagement with complexity hinders the development of these skills, leaving people ill-prepared for the demands of the real world. The loss of intellectual depth is not confined to the realm of political or social discourse. It also impacts our capacity for self-reflection and personal growth. Modern entertainment often promotes a culture of distraction, where individuals are encouraged to avoid introspection and self-examination in favor of mindless consumption. Instead of engaging with our thoughts, feelings, and experiences in a meaningful way, entertainment provides an escape, a way to numb ourselves to the demands of self-awareness and personal growth. This constant avoidance of self-reflection prevents individuals from engaging with their own complexities, ultimately hindering their ability to develop emotional intelligence, self-discipline, and resilience. Additionally, the cultural emphasis on entertainment and instant gratification has created a generation less capable of engaging in sustained, difficult intellectual work. The value of long-term projects, whether intellectual, creative, or professional, has been diminished by the culture of immediacy. The rise of quick wins and instant pleasure has fostered a mindset that resists the process of delayed gratification, which is essential for completing ambitious tasks that require persistence. Whether it's pursuing a degree, creating a work of art, or building a successful business, meaningful achievements rarely come without a sustained commitment to long-term effort. In a world obsessed with speed and ease, fewer people are willing to invest the time and energy required to engage deeply with difficult long-term endeavors. The erosion of critical thinking and intellectual depth is compounded by the rising dominance of technology and digital media. While technology offers numerous benefits and advancements, it also has the unintended consequence of reinforcing passive consumption over active engagement. Smartphones, tablets, and computers offer an endless array of entertainment options, all designed to capture attention and maintain engagement. This constant stimulation has led to an erosion of the ability to focus, engage in deep thought, and immerse oneself in the slow, deliberate process of learning. Our brains, constantly adapting to new technologies, have become wired for speed and novelty, making it increasingly difficult to concentrate on anything that requires sustained effort. The result is a populace that finds it more challenging to read deeply, reflect thoughtfully, and engage with the world in ways that promote intellectual growth and cultural advancement. As this pattern continues, the implications for intellectual progress are dire. A society that values entertainment over education, simplicity over complexity, and immediate satisfaction over long-term growth will inevitably stagnate. The potential for innovation, creativity, and cultural evolution will be severely limited if entertainment continues to be the dominant force in shaping the intellectual climate. The next generation of thinkers, creators, and innovators will struggle to find inspiration and ideas in a world dominated by passive consumption rather than active engagement with the world's most challenging questions. However, the decline of critical thinking is not a fate we must accept. By recognizing the role that entertainment plays in shaping our intellectual and moral lives, we can begin to shift our focus back to a culture of thoughtful engagement, critical reflection, and deep intellectual work. It is up to individuals, educators, and creators to reclaim entertainment as a tool for enlightenment, using it to challenge ideas, stimulate reflection, and foster dialogue. As a society, we must choose to prioritize ideas over spectacle and cultivate an environment where intellectual rigor is celebrated and engaged with deeply. Only by doing so can we hope to reverse the intellectual and moral decline caused by the addiction to mindless entertainment.